Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to get into something really critical, something the sources point to as maybe the toughest part of animal welfare, that digital transfer during the foster care adoption.
Yeah, the handoff.
Exactly, the handoff. It's where, the things can go really right or really wrong. And, well, historically, it's been a mess of paper, missing info.
Confusion, yeah. And our focus today isn't just like scanning documents. It's about standardizing the whole thing.
Okay.
Bringing the entire adoption experience from the first notes about behavior to the final vet records into a secure, modern format, a 21st century approach, really.
And it sounds like this isn't really aimed at the giant shelters with big budgets. It's more for.
Right. Crucially, this is tailored for the real backbone. The small grassroots foster networks, often volunteers working from home. They're the ones doing the heavy lifting, 247. And often with animals like horses or cats that sometimes, fall through the cracks with the big, expensive internal software systems.
Right. Those systems can be really pricey.
Exactly. So think about it. Big city shelters might have IT departments, dedicated budgets. This tech is built for the volunteer who needs something simple, secure, and affordable, especially on an emotional kind of high-stakes timeline.
Okay, so our mission here is to really analyze how this technology makes sure there's a complete, secure digital handoff.
Yeah.
The whole animal portfolio, right? No matter how big or small the rescue group.
That's the goal.
All right, let's unpack that. The complete digital handoff, you mentioned it's not just emailing PDFs. The core idea seems to be this complete account transfer thing.
Yeah, that's the architectural value prop. It fundamentally changes how data ownership works at the moment of adoption.
How so?
Well, this is where we stop thinking about records as just files and start seeing them as like a living portfolio for the pet.
A living portfolio.
Okay.
And the scope of what gets transferred, that's what's really interesting. It's the entire history. Health, behavior, daily habits, all in one click, verifiably. Okay, we should probably break that down a bit for listeners. What exactly is in that portfolio? Is it just vet receipts or?
Good question. Because this is where that standardization really matters. It includes the entire photo gallery, detailed care instructions, and this is key, the verified pet resume and pet screening data.
Pet resume. Okay, tell me about that.
For years, really critical details like, Sparky hates thunderstorms or needs slow intros to kids were just passed on verbally or maybe scribbled on a note.
If you were lucky.
Right. The pet resume is the standardized, authenticated profile of the pet's behavior and needs. It travels with the pet digitally so the adopter knows exactly what they're stepping into.
That sounds like it plugs a potentially dangerous gap. That missing info can lead to returns or worse, makes the whole thing safer.
Absolutely safer. For the pet, for the adopter. And the way it works is this single digital handshake.
Okay.
The system moves all that data securely to the adopter's own unique verified account. It's less like copying files, more like transferring ownership of a secured digital locker.
I see.
Both sides are authenticated. The transfer is verified. It's final, secured under the new owner. And it just wipes out all that admin hassle that usually causes chaos in the last hour of adoption.
So no more digging through emails trying to find that rabies certificate from 3 months ago.
Exactly. It's immediate.
Right.
Verified. And think about this. This standardization also means if an animal needs to be moved across state lines, which happens a lot in rescue,
Right.
the vet records, the behavioral info, it's all immediately compliant and recognizable. That's actually a massive improvement for rescues working together across different areas.
Okay, so the handoff is secure, it's complete. But you mentioned earlier, these are often volunteer groups. For them to actually use this, it has to be, well, affordable, sustainable.
Definitely.
Which brings us to cost and volume. Let's talk about the pricing model. How does it work for these grassroots rescues?
Yeah, this is a really critical point because traditional software, especially in the business world, often uses a per-pet license.
Right, pay for each animal.
Yeah. So imagine a small foster group. They rescue maybe 10 dogs a month. If the software is, say, $5 per animal, that's $50 a month right out of their vet funds.
Ouch.
And high turnover, which is actually a good thing in rescue, means animals are getting adopted, translates to a huge, unpredictable software bill.
And that kind of budget uncertainty can just crush a small volunteer operation. They can't plan.
Precisely. Which is why the slot advantage is such a core innovation here. We heard this over and over in the feedback. This detail is huge.
Okay, the slot advantage. Explain that.
Instead of paying per pet, rescues or fosters pay for a reusable slot.
A slot, like a space.
Exactly. Think of it like capacity. So they might pay for, say, 21 slots. That means they can manage 21 foster animals at the same time. Or maybe they only need one slot, but over the year, they adopt out 100 pets through that one slot. They pay for the slot once and just reuse it endlessly as pets get adopted.
I get it. So you're paying for the capacity to care for animals, not for each individual transaction of adoption.
You got it. That makes it scalable. And it protects their operating budget. They can redirect that money back into actually helping the animals vet, care, food, whatever.
That seems like a massive difference. It makes the cost predictable.
Turns it from a variable cost into a fixed cost, which for nonprofit planning and fundraising is just essential.
And sticking with planning and long-term thinking,
Mm-hmm.
there's this data durability feature. Records kept for 7 years, even if a subscription lapses. That sounds like a big promise.
It is a big promise, and it's a really critical safety feature, like an insurance policy for the pet's history.
Why 7 years specifically?
Well, think about it. Foundational records, those first vaccinations, maybe a surgery report from when they were young, known allergies, that stuff can matter years down the road.
Sure.
If a pet gets rehomed, or maybe a chronic issue pops up again later. That history needs to be accessible. If the subscription gets renewed later, that core data can be called back up.
So the pet doesn't sort of lose its past just because someone changed their email or forgot to renew.
Exactly. The core identity and history persist.
Okay, this connects the tech side back to something really human, the foster parent experience. Letting go of that's got to be incredibly hard.
It's often the hardest part, yeah.
So how do features like the story stream and live link help bridge that emotional gap during the transition?
Well, the live link is really about building transparency and emotional investment before the adoption even finalizes.
How does that work?
The foster shares this live link. It's a unique web page, basically with potential adopters, and they can follow the pet's progress in real time.
Not just cute photos, I assume.
No. Detailed, honest updates. Could be training logs. We worked on leash pulling today, or notes on specific issues, successfully ignored the skateboarder, daily routines, triggers.
So the adopter sees the reality, the good, the challenging,
Yeah.
how far the animal has come.
Exactly. They feel involved in the journey before they commit. That transparency really helps cut down on post-adoption shock, when people return pets because they weren't prepared.
Yeah, that makes sense. They know what they're getting into because they've watched it unfold.
Right. And then there's the story stream. Think of it like a daily journal for the pet's time in foster care.
Okay.
When fosters share bits of that on social media, it becomes really powerful personal content. It makes the whole process visible. That kind of personal story is gold for the foster network, isn't it? For fundraising, probably.
Absolutely. People donate to stories they connect with. And it helps recruit new fosters, too, because they see the rewarding process laid out. It makes the invisible work visible.
Mm-hmm. And this leads to what they call the forever connection, which acknowledges that, letting go doesn't have to mean completely losing touch.
How does that work? Can fosters just check in whenever?
Well, if the adopter chooses to share access back, yes, the adopter controls it. But if they do, the foster can follow along with the pet's life through those shared story streams.
Wow. That must provide huge peace of mind for foster parents.
Immense relief, yeah. They can maintain a healthy distance but still see that the animal they poured their heart into is okay, is thriving. It keeps that community feeling alive long after the adopter papers are signed.
Okay, let's shift gears now. Let's look purely at the adopter side. What's in it for them, beyond just getting the records, especially thinking about risk post-adoption?
Well, the basic benefit is clear. Cloud-based record, accessible anywhere, huge plus. But the real safety net kicks in if the unthinkable happens.
Like the pet getting lost.
Exactly. Especially in those first few weeks when they're still adjusting. The built-in Lost Pet Finder plus flyer generator is designed for that immediate crisis.
There you go.
If your new dog bolts out the door, you can instantly, right there on your phone, generate a shareable, location-aware lost pet flyer.
And it's not just a generic template, right? It pulls the actual pet's info.
Yeah, it's integrated. It automatically pulls the latest photos, your contact info, and crucially, automap links showing exactly where the pet was last seen.
Speed is everything in that situation.
Everything. The Find My Pet system uses that accessible digital record to mobilize help instantly. Minutes count.
Okay, that's a powerful safety feature. Now, what about keeping adopters engaged long-term? How does the system encourage them to actually keep using it, maintain that continuity of care?
There are a few clever incentives built in. First, the data itself is the initial hook. Adopters get all that verified history instantly if they become a subscriber. That's the immediate reward, a complete, secure medical background from day one.
And the rescue group can help make that happen right away.
Yes, fosters or rescues can actually gift a year of membership to the adopter right at the point of adoption.
Ah, ensuring that the cloud record stays active from the get-go. That's smart. An investment in the pet's future safety.
Exactly. And then the loop closes by supporting the rescue community itself. There's a robust referral program.
Okay.
It rewards fosters and rescues for bringing new users onto the platform, so it helps the whole ecosystem grow organically. It reinforces that idea of simplicity, security, and continuous care for every single animal.
This has been incredibly insightful. We've really seen how this technology acts as more than just record keeping. It's like a living bridge between the foster home and the forever home.
Yeah, offering an authenticated story that travels with the pet, that kind of standardization and durability, you just can't get that with paper files stuffed in a drawer.
We heard some really powerful feedback mentioned in the sources. Things like one foster manager saying, "This made the adoption handoff so easy. All the notes, updates, just there."
Yeah, and I was struck by the adopter's view, too. Our foster stayed part of Cooper's story. We still share updates. It makes our whole family feel supported.
That feeling of support, that really gets to the core of it, doesn't it?
It does.
So we have to leave you, the listener, with this final thought to consider. If these standardized, durable digital records mean a pet always takes its full history and safety net along, what does that permanently accessible story really mean for how we define pet ownership and animal welfare long term?
Is liking that data, that continuity, now basically a form of neglect? And how will future systems build on this idea? Think about that seamless record, always there, potentially 7 years later. That could change everything for the life of that animal.